Hey everybody, and welcome back to Shakur Or. We're outside with all the adult dogs again today. Everybody's been fed dinner and just spending some time outside and stretching the legs and playing. And thought I'd do something a little bit different today. Someone had requested a little bit back about going into the dogs' names and kind of like where they got them and the meanings of them. So I was going to do that just as something fun. I guess we'll start with Hibana since she's right here. Hibana is Japanese origin, which the vast majority of our dogs' names are Japanese. But Hibana roughly translates to fire blossom. It can also kind of loosely translate to flower and general things with kind of flame, but the best translation is fire blossom or fire flower. She's running away from me. Her registered name is Hagashi Onna, which loosely translates to fierce woman. And I'd say that suits her pretty well. She actually took a little while to be named when we first got her, because kind of struggled with what suited her. But I would say it suits her pretty well. She likes to actually be called by Hibana. I like to pick on her and call her that because I say she's high as a kite sometimes. She's more energetic, a bit stubborn, but she does very well with the Poms and baby things and kids. She loves kids. Let's see. Starlight. Starlight, actually, she was kind of named off of the name that her breeder had for her. Her puppy name was Starla, and she already responded to that pretty well, so we just kind of changed it a little bit and called her Starlight.
Why?
I did.
No, because of the way the collies attach themselves early on to a name.
Cammie's fussing at me because she wants me to explain that the reason why we kept a similar name was because Starlight was a little older when we got her, and collies as a general, they seem to attach to their names pretty quickly. That doesn't mean you can't change it, but because she was a little bit older, we wanted to keep something of very similar sound, so we went with Starlight instead. You keep running. Her registered name is Yoi Yumio, which means sweet dreams. I think that suits her because she would really like to give those vultures sweet dreams. The vultures were harassing her today, flying over the yard quite a bit. And it's very much her duty to chase them off. Kazahana, also Japanese. Kazahana is the word that is used to, it's what the Japanese people use to describe the effect of sunlight filtering through the trees. With Japanese culture, oftentimes they won't directly describe things so much as they will kind of indirectly put a specific word to a feeling. So that's what Kazahana means. And his registered name is Hyoga no Shinzo, which means glacier heart. Or it can also kind of be translated to glacier god, because Shinzo translates both to heart and god. And that's the thing with the Japanese language, is that words can mean somewhat different things, depending on in what context it's used. Lycoris, staring at her bum here. Lycoris is the scientific name for a spider lily. I wanted to name her that because, well, she's kind of like a spider lily. She's, her white body is kind of like the naked stalk, and her colored head is kind of like the flower. Her registered name is Hadaka no Josei, which translates to naked lady, which is one of the other names for spider lilies. Nine is right here too. 9 is named after a character from a show that we watch, a Japanese anime. Yes, we like watching anime. He's named after a character from a show that emotionally means quite a bit to us, as far as the essence of the show and the meaning behind it. And we felt like, since seems like he's going to be, a strong, quiet boy, that the name of that character suited him pretty well. And his registered name is also going to be after the name of the show, which is Zenki no Terror, which translates to terror and resonance. And we have Yufu. Yes, Yufu. Yufu, if I remember correctly, means Yahoo in Japanese.
It's just
Chocolate.
The name of a mountain. It's just the name of a mountain.
But it's also, the name of a mountain. Stop moving, Yufu. His registered name is...
It's Chinese.
Is it Chinese?
Mm-hmm.
When I was looking it up, it was both. It was Japanese as well.
Well,
His registered name is Choco Reto no Ikari, which means chocolate fury. Kind of corny, but he's chocolate dog. He was also our first Pomeranian, so... Yes, he's very noisy and sounds ferocious when he plays. And then we have Breo. His actual name is Breonon. We just call him Breo, but Breonon is Gaelic, and it means sorrow. Also translates to tears. His registered name is Yukanon na Kanashimi, which means sorrowful sadness. Kind of going with the theme there. And that's not meaning a thing of that, like he made us sad and all that stuff, but I would say kind of a connection on the story behind us getting him, leave her alone. Obi's in the first stages of heat, so the boys are kind of hounding her. Anyway, he was our first collie, and it was a bit of a rough time when we got him, and why we got him. That's a long story, so I won't go into all that, but it kind of leads off of those things. Most of the time we name our animals off an emotional basis, but sometimes we don't. Obi is the Japanese word for belt. Her registered name is Amai Sakuron, which means sweet cyclone. It very much suits her. She's a sweet dog, but she's also very much a cyclone. She has a lot of energy. I've said before that she reminds me a lot of a Border Collie and a Pomeranian buddy. And it just felt like it suited her. And Obi's kind of, it's not very feminine. It's kind of...
The belt part was because
the belt part is because of her tail. But in a way, it's a little bit of an androgynous name, I would say. Typically, people call males Obi, but Obi's not very feminine. Her personality is not very feminine, so I think it kind of suits her. Yokai is the Japanese word that's used. That's what they call their spirits. A Japanese spirit is called yokai. Spirit, monster, kind of creature. Depends on how you want to translate it. But he got that name because he looked a bit like a creature when he was little, and kind of acts like one with all the noises that he makes.
Oh, like a Wendigo.
Yeah, kind of like a Wendigo. His registered name is Konpeki no Arashi, which means Azure Storm, which I decided on. It's not hugely thought into, but he's blue. He carries a dilute, so Azure kind of went with it. His hair kind of has a blue-purple color to it because of the shading, so Azure Storm seemed to fit. Whoa! He don't want you getting his cricket. I'm gonna lose battery though. My battery's dying, so I might need to charge and resume on a different date. I'll go until I lose battery, and then we'll resume. Let's see. Who do I need? Suki. She doesn't. I don't know her registered name. Cami decided on one, but I don't know what it is. But Suki itself means moon. Ame right there, I also don't know his registered name. Ame is also the name of a character from a movie. The character, basically Ame means Amy in Japanese, and we like to call him Amy.
He's a bit of an Amy.
He's a bit of an Amy. He's whiny, he's sweet, but he's just kind of weird sometimes. He does weird things, and we also like to call him the Predator. Uh-oh. There it goes. It died. That was weird, though, because it went... Alright, resuming where we left off. Yesterday, before the camera died, we were talking about Ame and Suki. Cammy's picked out registered names for them, but I don't know what they are presently. And also, I wanted to mention that I wasn't picking on any Amy's by mentioning that we like to call Ame Amy. It's just a fun nickname because he's a little special sometimes. So we just like to call him Amy. But that's not picking on anyone who has the name of Amy. It's just a fun little nickname we have for him. I also like to call him Ames just because it's just funny. That's all. No harm meant in it. Love Me over here. Her registered name is Watashi o Aishite, which means I love you in Japanese. Fitting of her name, Love Me. She's actually named after a character from a web novel that Cami reads. It took us a little while to name her because we were kind of throwing some stuff around. Couldn't figure out something that quite fit when we got her, but that seemed to stick. The character in the web novel is a mother figure, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know the character as well as Cami does, but I think it suits her, just her personality. Mana, right here. His registered name is Senbo no Manazashi, which I believe the translation is Gaze of Envy, or something similar along that line. Cami came up with his call name, Mana. He's chasing her. She doesn't want to get on camera. It is actually mana and not manna. A lot of people pronounce it manna, but the
Manna is the bread.
manna is bread. Mana is actually the term for magic.
Magic points. It was because, remember, it was because he was always low on mana as a puppy.
Yeah, that's right. Because he was always sleepy as a puppy, so in gaming terms, he was always low on mana. We also have all the puppies out with us today. Sear, again, Cami has her registered name picked out. I don't know what it is yet. I've been lazy and I haven't gotten a few of them registered. But I named her Sear before we even got her, just as, based on her appearances. It seemed to suit her, and in a way it kind of does, because it's a little bit of a pun now, because she's always off in the tall grass hunting grasshoppers, so you can't see Sear. It's kind of a funny pun now. I have Kazahana right here with me on leash, because Obi, I mentioned yesterday, Obi's going into heat, and Kazahana can get testy with the other males when the females are in heat. And because I'm videotaping, I get distracted with it and can't keep an eye on him, so that's why he's with me on the leash. What you doing, Kismet? You gonna go harass your mom? She don't want you getting her stick. We'll growl at them and whatnot if they try and take something that she has, but she's all bark and no bite. There's not really any usual force behind it, but it's actually good because, she's gentle on them, but usually gets the point across. Sometimes she can be a little too soft, but usually she gets it across pretty well. There's a vulture flying overhead, so there, Starlight's chasing that. Love me. You got a stick. You dropped it. Anyway, and our name, Shakur Orr, actually comes from, it's got a little deeper origin per se. It's actually also our pen name. You can't chase the vulture. Sit. You cannot chase it. Come on back. Anyway, everybody's full of a little bit of nitrous today. As y'all can tell. Can you go get on him? He doesn't need to be on it.
Cut out.
Anyway, everybody's full of a little bit of nitrous today. It happens. Dogs will be dogs. Good girl.
It's our job to be mediators.
And they all have their moments of running around like crazy and being a little bit noisy. I mean, it's just reality. What, kiss girl? Where you at? Where you at, kiss girl? Yeah. Oh, sweetie.
She knows how to cheese.
Yeah. Kiss girl. Hey, sweetie. Anyway, our name, Shakur Orr, is actually also our pen name, author name, whatever you want to call it. We're working on a high fantasy, somewhat modern setting book series. And Shakor Or means black light. It is Hebrew, and it means black light. The origins of that is because our desires, our strivings is to reveal the things that are hidden and that cannot be seen under normal light. Oh, we don't eat the dirt. Get out of the dirt. And since it's our author name, it seemed only fitting that it should be our breeding name as well. Oh wow, that's huge. I haven't seen one that big and...
Well, there are two different types. There's a giant version,
Oh,
and then
so that's the giant
there's a
one.
small version, yeah.
It's so pretty. Go put it where the dogs won't squish it.
It's gorgeous.
It's very pretty. Massive. I don't know if y'all can tell how big that is, but that's my index finger.
Well, we had tiny hands.
We have tiny hands, but that's my index finger. It's almost just as long as my index. Braille's bald spot's grown out. Some of y'all might not know, but he has allergies and he got some pretty bad hot spots, so we had to shave that area and treat it, but it's growing out. He's healed up and doing much better. There's eyeshadow here and Kaya digging a hole. I think that's everyone's names. Sassy Pants, she was already named Sassy Pants. We didn't name her that. Although I like to call her more of Insecure Pants because surprisingly she's not so much sassy as she's just insecure and a bit sensitive about things. She came from a home with children, so I don't know if maybe that's the reason why. For example, if you accidentally kind of pinch her hair, she'll squeal. But she's a little bit sensitive, not so much sassy. Wiggle Wiggles. This is Wagyu. I like to call her Wiggles and Goo Goo and all kinds of names. Wagyu is in Wagyu beef. We don't normally name our animals off of food things, but when she was a little baby, she had a literal cow's udder because she loved her mama's milkies. And so we initially called her Wagyu. It's just a fun little nickname until we came up with names, but it stuck. And Geisha girl. Her name is Geisha because she's a beautiful lady. Like the Japanese geishas. Yes. And she is the best cat. Very sweet. Very loving. Never causes any issues. Right, Geisha girl? Always wants love and is sweet to everybody. Yeah. Okay. I see you. The only one I didn't go into was Weiss. Right here. His full name is actually Edelweiss, which is German for a type of flower.
A white flower.
It's a white flower. But Edelweiss is also the name of a tank on a video game that we play. The name of the tank is Edelweiss. If anything, I think that's more suiting the flower.
Yeah. Well, originally he was all white, but the tank part definitely. control seats. Talk about what he is.
What he is? He was a mixed breed dog. He's primarily bulldog and with some German Shepherd and a little bit of Chow Chow, and isn't there a little bit of Lab in there?
Well, he's predominantly bull and pit.
Yeah, predominantly bulldog and pit bull. Purr and bark. We all know how those can be a little inaccurate sometimes. But purr and bark, that is what he is.
I'm going to call him Vice because he has lots of spices.
There are other children. Or I guess they're just kind of spread out everywhere. There's some of them up there at the pool near the house. Thunder Buns. Honestly, I don't even remember how he got that name. Originally, he was Thunder, and then he was Thunder, and then he was Thunder Buns, and then he was Thunder Buns. Because he's fluffy, and he has presence. And when he walks sometimes, you'd think there should be the sound of thunder. Right, Thunder Buns? Hmm. Right there is Polly. Technically, her name is Soul. I think I've talked about that a little bit before. Move! Getting under my feet. Her actual name is Soul. Thank you. And she was named that because she has very soulful eyes. But we just call her Polly. Because she was a little roly-poly as a kitten. There's a little bit of a tragic story there because her roly-poliness didn't last very long because, not even, but I think a week, 2 weeks after we got her, if that, and she was just a little baby when we got her, she got into a bowl of beef blood and got very critically constipated and tried to die because of constipation. Whoa! Don't chase the cat. I don't have a free hand to snap at you. Thank you. Anyway. So yeah, that was a very scary experience when she was little. Who's meowing? Is it Wagyu? What baby? Wagyu's my baby. She loves me and I love her. She's sensitive and she has her issues and she likes to slap people. But we have an understanding of each other. And she's my baby. Yeah. One of his ears is trying to stand up. The other one is not so sure about it right now. Ivana, what you doing? Lacos, what you doing? Look like you're expecting something. But what? What are you expecting, Lacos? Lemmy's blowing her coat. She's about lost all her hair now. She's all her undercoat. She's all naked, looking like a mangy mangy coyote. It's talking. Charge! Oh! Oh, it's drizzling a little bit and I just got a drop on my eyeball. Alright now, you're making Polly upset.
Ivana. Oi!
Leave Polly alone. Come here, peepoties. Listen, you know, sometimes you just gotta turn around and give them a little bop. Show them who's boss. Polly's a very sweet and sensitive kitty, so she doesn't understand that sometimes she has to give dogs a little bop. Love me's trying to corral her children. She'll pin them like that when she feels like they're getting too excited. Or if she wants them to stop moving for a minute and chill out. Where'd Vice go? There he is. We got Vice from a rescue in North Georgia. May! Thank you. In North Georgia, he was about 6 weeks old when we got him, Vice. At the time, we didn't know what breed he was. Breeds. He looked like some kind of weird little shepherd thing. Had mange and was from a litter of 12 puppies, I think, that were pulled from a county shelter by the rescue. And that's where we got him from. There was actually someone who contacted us on Embark who has one of Vice's sisters, and it's very interesting to see how different the siblings look across the board. She's a lot shorter, wispier hair, and has a larger head than what Vice does. It was really weird to connect with someone that had a sibling. She doesn't want you getting her stick. We had grown up with mixed breed dogs up until we got Breo. Breo was our first purebred dog. Breo's over there doing what Breos do, sniffing around. Our dad grew up with hog dogs, Catahoulas, pit bulls. I think he might have had a couple hounds, that sort of thing. And we were very hardcore on the rescuing side of things until a certain point in our lives when we kind of got a different viewpoint and some enlightenment, which goes into a longer, in-depth topic that I won't go into right now. That's part of essentially our origin story. But I'll get into that at some point soon. Me and Kenny were putting some topics together that we wanted to talk about, and just being very transparent about who we are and more in-depth who we are, what we do, what our viewpoints are. Because we don't want anyone to have any sort of misconceptions on us and what we do. But that'll be for another day. Not today, because it'll probably be a little bit long. But sometime soon. Are you taking Geisha's bug? Leave it alone. That's hers. We're hoping to do some flower planting over the weekend. There are passion flowers. I'll show them to y'all real quick before we wrap up. They haven't bloomed yet. They're over here. All these right here, I don't know if y'all can see them, kind of sticking up. They are passion flowers. There's some more of them right over there. Quite a few of them. There's about 15 over here. We're going to get them dug up and planted around the porch so they can crawl up the wire on the sides of the porch. And get the butterflies and the bees and all that stuff. Some flowers that they can access. Hoping to do that this weekend if it doesn't rain. We'll see. We haven't gotten the puppy pen put up. Just digging holes, and we haven't gotten to it, so we just take the puppies outside frequently, and they're loose in the house, and we're working with them throughout the day. Plus, with those black flies that came, we couldn't really put them outside even if we wanted to, so that they could run around, just because the bugs would tear them up. Anyway, that goes into names. There were a few of the kitty cats that didn't wander out here. There's Skunky and Newt, who we call Buddha. Howie and Tesla are not out here. We love our kitties. They mean a lot to us. as always, if there's any questions, feel free to pop in the comments below. Always like to answer them. And we'll probably have our usual, I'll probably do another puppy video. Maybe over the weekend, possibly on Monday, we'll see. And then I'll have a topics video where we'll talk about some of the things I spoke of a few minutes earlier. And go over those things. Sassy is very much pregnant. She's got a little belly on her now. And she's very much being a couch potato all day long. I'm kind of afraid that she might have quite a few in there, but we'll have to wait and see. She had 4 on her first litter. Not with us, that was with her breeder. And sometimes they can have more than that on their second. I've noticed with Pomeranians. Ouch, Kazahana. You just laid on me. Come on. Anyway, we're gonna scoot a boot inside. Get some dinner. Get everyone settled. Say goodbye, Wagyu. Wagoobies. Wagooby doos. Scoop soos. What you doing, sweetie? Alright, that's it for now. Talk to y'all later. Bye bye.